They are shutting it down. We're not shutting it down.
We're ready, we're willing and able to find a bipartisan path forward.
And if the government shuts down, it is on the Senate Democrats.
Chuck wants a shutdown. I mean, you know, even Stevie Wonder can see that.
Democrats do not want a shutdown.
Today marks day one of the Schumer shutdown.
Well, today we're in the middle of the Schumer shutdown.
But here we are in a Schumer shutdown.
The United States has entered its first government shutdown in 6 years, but this one feels markedly different. On October 1st, President Donald Trump's administration froze $26 billion earmarked for Democratic-leaning states, making good on his promise to use the crisis as a political weapon. The cuts were sweeping: $18 billion for transit projects in New York, home to the two most powerful Democrats in Congress, and a further $8 billion in green energy initiatives spread across 16 Democratic-run states, including California and Illinois. For Trump, this was not simply about fiscal restraint. On Truth Social, he argued that the move would deliver real savings.
Billions of dollars can be saved.
The government shutdown, the 15th since 1981, is already being felt across America. Scientific research, environmental cleanup, financial oversight, and a wide array of public services have ground to a halt. Some 750,000 federal workers were ordered to stay home, while others deemed essential, such as soldiers and Border Patrol agents, continue to work without pay. The Department of Veterans Affairs has promised to continue burials at national cemeteries, but with no new headstones and uncut grass, a stark symbol of the paralysis now gripping Washington. Vice President JD Vance hinted at permanent job cuts if the shutdown drags on.
We're going to do everything that we can over the coming weeks, if the shutdown lasts that long, to ensure that people get the essential services that they need, despite the fact that Chuck Schumer has shut down the federal government. It's not going to be perfect because we are in a government shutdown. We are going to have to lay some people off if the shutdown continues. We don't like that. We don't necessarily want to do it, but we're going to do what we have to keep the American people's essential services continuing to run.
Already, agencies are preparing for cuts. The US Patent and Trademark Office, for instance, announced plans to lay off 1% of its 14,000 employees. The stakes are high, not just for government workers, but for farmers, families, and communities across the country. To Trump's critics, the shutdown is an act of political blackmail. Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer accused the president of deliberately targeting ordinary Americans in order to punish his opponents.
The bottom line is he's doing it anyway. They've already cut 300,000 people. Whether there's a shutdown or not, it'll be up to Trump whether he's going to let Musk, formerly Doge, vote, do these cuts, do these layoffs, and do these firings. It will fall on him, as I said. He's the one doing the firings, not Democrats, and that's what it shows.
House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries echoed the concern, warning that the freeze on funds for New York's subway and harbour projects could destroy thousands of jobs. Even some Republicans are uneasy. Senator Tom Tillis cautioned that Trump's hardline strategy risked creating a toxic environment that would make it harder to end the impasse. Democrats argue that Republicans, who control both Congress and the White House, have engineered this crisis by refusing to include healthcare protections in the funding bill. Republicans, meanwhile, insist that Democrats are obstructing for political gain. The immediate sticking point: Democrats demand permanent funding for healthcare subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. Republicans, backed by Trump, reject this outright, saying health and spending policy should not be tied together. In the meantime, both sides are trading barbs. Several agencies even posted online notices blaming what they termed as the radical left for the shutdown, potentially in violation of the Hatch Act, which forbids partisan political activity in federal agencies. For ordinary Americans, the effects are already visible. Federal workers are bracing for missed paychecks. Farmers, still reeling from low crop prices, record high debts and trade wars, now face further disruption. The Department of Agriculture has furloughed nearly half of its 86,000 staff. Disaster aid applications are on hold, farm loan processing has stopped, and key conservation payments are frozen. Tim Wells, a sheep farmer in Arkansas, voiced frustration as he waited for delayed aid.
The way the farm economy's been, nobody needs to wait because it takes so much just to operate.
Republicans, for their part, are attempting to shift blame. Senate Leader Thune argued that Democrats had supported temporary funding measures in the past, suggesting their refusal to do so now is motivated solely by opposition to Trump. Democrats counter that healthcare protections are non-negotiable. Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia, representing a state with tens of thousands of federal workers, said compromise remained possible, but only if Republicans were willing to engage sincerely. On Capitol Hill, votes to end the shutdown have failed repeatedly. Both Republican and Democratic proposals fell short of the 60-vote threshold in the Senate. A new Republican bill is expected to face another vote on Friday, but few expect progress. Behind the political stalemate lies a stark reality. The United States carries a $37.5 trillion national debt, with $1.7 trillion in agency operations at stake. Yet, the paralysis in Washington has left agencies scrambling, families anxious, and public services shuttered. Analysts say the shutdown could end in one of four ways. Democrats could fracture under pressure. Republicans might overplay their hand and be forced to concede. Both sides could absorb heavy political damage as the crisis drags on, or markets and public backlash could ultimately force a compromise. For now, Trump sees opportunity. His administration has already laid off thousands of civil servants during his second term, combining mass buyouts with reclassifications that critics say strip away job protections. With the shutdown, that effort may only accelerate. The lesson then, as now, is clear. Shutdowns carry unpredictable risks. And as this one deepens, ordinary Americans, from farmers in Arkansas to federal workers in Washington, are paying the price, caught between a president determined to wield the crisis as leverage and Democrats unwilling to back down from a fight over healthcare. The question now is not whether the government will reopen, but how much damage will be done before it does.